I think we should do another MAGA cope thread posted by Chuds of TikTok of all the people reacting to Donald Trump being indicted. I want a few giggles, some tee-hees. I have a weird feeling that I'm not going to get any giggles, though. I have a weird feeling I'm mostly just going to be depressed at the state of many people's brains across the country. Let's start, though. No matter what, though, it's sure to inspire emotions. Let's start at the top, because this has, I think, 16 different like TikTok videos. So we got a lot here. FJB and whoever supports that trash. I believe this is in reference to the attorney, not the attorney, the judge behind the fourth indictment.
Hey y'all, so as of August 15th, and for all you Democrats that didn't know, right now, today it's August 15th, tomorrow.
All you Democrats with your anti-calendar agenda, for any of you that didn't know, it's August 15th.
It'll be August 16th when it hits 12.
Yeah, that's how time works. Do you think that's something she has to do? She just explains basic concepts in these TikTok. I wonder if that's because she's talking to Democrats, so she's dumbing down her language, and this is like a meme, or her audience is so genuinely stupid that she has to, explain the time. I don't know. Whatever. Continuing.
Figured y'all probably didn't know that.
Okay, yeah, so she's just saying Democrats are dumb and they don't know how 24-hour cycles work, because dumb people don't know how 24-hour cycles work.
But anyway, I'm just here to tell you that Biden is still the worst president in the history of the U.S.
The worst president in the history of the United States. The worst one. There's none of them were worse. None of them were any worse. None of them? None of them. At all? You can't think of, like a Taft, or you're not gonna go through the long list of people who are like, yeah, slavery is actually kind of cool, or like any of those people, and say, maybe that was worse, or it just Biden's the worst president of all time. Okay. I wonder if this is like a thing that Trump has just motivated, or if it was always like this, because Trump has this thing where it always has to be the worst or the best. It's like his deals are always the best, and there's nothing that can ever compare, and everything that's against him is always the worst, and the country's in the worst state it's ever been when he's not in power. It always has to be like the extremes.
Guess what else? You ready? I'm an intuitive empath. My intuition is never wrong.
Okay, well, that's a good source. That's something like I think academics use as a direct source. Let's see. Yep.
So guess what?
What?
Trump is going to be a free man. He's going to walk away free. Guess what else?
Based on what? Like your intuition alone? Okay.
The entire...
I mean, that's pretty good. Trump should go into office and be like, listen, you corrupt prosecutors. At Lessons Learned 44, proved that I was innocent. Have you checked her intuition? It's brilliant. Perfect.
Entire Democratic Party, the ones that y'all support, yeah, that trash, they're gonna all go down. So you know what?
My intuition said that everyone I like is gonna win and everybody that I don't like is gonna lose.
Buckle up, because it's gonna be a wild ride for every single one of you. Have a good night.
Is she suffering from blood loss, or is she have a cold? Why is she so wrapped up in that blanket for this video? Okay, whatever. She looks cozy. Both the streaming service cozy and cozy as in cozy. Okay, next. Number 2, he's starting an army. Oh, let's see what this guy has to say. The Divergent Patriot on TikTok.
So I've got a lot of people that get on my videos and they post that they're true patriots. They're ready to fight for their country. The fact that they're not gonna bow down. And the fact that they've got my back. So here's the question. When are you gonna stop commenting that on my videos and message me so that I can get you involved in order for you to do that? When are you gonna live up to those words? Because here soon, I'm gonna need a lot of you. I'm gonna need all of you. Comments are great, but actions mean more than anything.
Man, I thought the military recruitment practices in like high schools were immoral and like bad, man. I mean, like, okay, so he doesn't really even say what they're fighting. They're just fighting for the country. They're fighting for freedom. Message me, join now. I wonder what this guy does. Does he just like have a militia? Let's look up the Divergent Patriot. I'm curious. Patriot. Is he starting a militia? Is he like, you know what? I don't have the. Okay, let me do Divergent Patriot TikTok. I think maybe he got his account deleted. Either way, I can't find it at the moment. But join me, like me, and share me. Okay. Well, he's starting his militia. I'll wait for him to become like our what was that name of that Chinese warlord? The fun one. General 89? Forgetting what his name is. What his big name. It was dog something. The dog meat general. Yeah, he'll be our dog meat general.
2024 election is canceled in the United States, according to Roseanne Barr on the Tim Pool podcast. They've indicted Donald Trump for everything shy of the extinction of the dinosaurs, and it's still not working. So the only option that they have left is to enact war. Now, the United States has the industrial military complex, the most sophisticated war machine ever funded and propagated against humanity. And this is the next step, and really the last thing they have to use to keep Donald Trump, RFK Jr., DeSantis, or really anybody else that they can't control out of office.
Okay, first off, RFK has never seen the White House, okay? I mean, I don't know if RFK should even, you know, his feet should even touch the streets of DC, period. Like just the city itself, let alone walk into the White House and become president of the United States. He's a crackpot. He doesn't know what he's doing. His own family hates him, and for good reason. And he's a loon. I mean, like he's a loon. I could go into like the long history of vaccine stuff, but let me just give you like the example I always give, because I know it's an issue that you guys care about. He went on Tucker Carlson today and claimed falsely, based off of literally nothing else than edited PDF documents, clearly photoshopped PDF documents, that for every Russian soldier that died, 7 Ukrainian soldiers die. He claimed on the Joe Rogan podcast that we had spent $1.8 trillion on the war in Ukraine. There's no like dedication to the material reality. He's not going to get into the White House. The military-industrial complex doesn't need to do anything to keep RFK out of the White House.
The only real question is if this happens, when this happens.
Also, what does the military-industrial complex have to do with arresting Trump or Trump being held accountable for his crimes?
Will Americans finally rise up? Will they finally take action? Or will they just sit passively by like we always do?
So so Trump tried to overthrow the democratic result of the election. And the people who are the main beneficiaries of democracy, because they're the ones who get to have the say, should overthrow the government, the democracy, for holding account somebody for attempting to undermine our democracy. Okay, whatever. Okay, continuing. Number 4, be afraid. If they can do it to Trump, they can do it to you.
Hey.
I love this stuff, right? Because what does this really mean? You know, they arrested Trump for committing crimes. Maybe one day they'll arrest working class people for committing crimes. Oh, you think?
There's some things going on right now inside our government. Little political things happening around us.
Mm-hmm.
3 things that we should be very fucking frightened of.
What's that?
First of all, the idea of criminalizing questioning an election, yes, questioning the integrity of an election, the idea of criminalizing that should scare the fuck out of you.
The thing that gets me about this statement is that it feels like everybody's just plain stupid, like purposefully plain stupid about what this case is about. The case isn't about Donald Trump questioning the integrity of the election. There's no law that it's illegal to question the integrity of the election. What he is being charged with is conspiracy to overturn the democratic results of the election, knowing that he had lost, that he'd been provided information clearly showing that there was no widespread fraud that he's alleging, that no significant evidence had been brought forward, that his colleagues and associates were providing him information that directly contradicted the information that he was pushing out publicly. So he was given a source of information to prove to him that the election was not stolen and didn't need to overturn it, while he was also preparing in advance of the election to deny that he had lost the election due to fraud. It's hard for me to take it very seriously, this claim that you lost the election. This is just you making sure every vote gets counted. If you're already writing the speeches 4 days before the election about how when you lost, you didn't really lose. It's all just like election fraud and nonsense. Before then trying to concoct a plan to get fake electors and seize voting machines with executive orders and use the Insurrection Act, like that is a lot different than just asking questions about the integrity of our elections. Illegally accessing the data of voting machines, which is the same stuff that Donald Trump was accusing others of doing. That's not just asking questions about election security. Calling the Georgia Secretary of State and other Georgian officials and asking them to find the exact number of votes necessary to overturn the results of the election in Georgia and make him the winner. That isn't just asking questions. The same way that it isn't asking question for a mafia boss to look at his mafia hitman and say, man, it'd be really nice if that Mr. John guy, he was sleeping with the fishes. Nobody would take it seriously if that guy said, well, I was just saying it would have been nice. Like, that's my personal opinion. What, are opinions illegal now? Is it illegal to have opinions? Like, stop playing stupid. It's conspiracy to commit a crime.
Yeah, I mean, they're wanting to try to put our man in leg shackles over this shit.
Leg shackles. Does he think that like Trump's gonna be in a chain gang at the age of 70? Trump is 70 years old. I don't think he's gonna be put in a chain gang.
Let's go back and think about who all has done it. Al Gore, I remember doing it, but he lost the Bush.
The difference between Al Gore and Donald Trump would be Al Gore did challenge the results of the Florida election due to the hanging chads and a bunch of other election irregularities, but then he lost in the courts. Then he had to drop it. He didn't say, okay, Mr. Bill Clinton, Mr. Democrat in office, could you get some fake electors? How about you try to bring out the Insurrection Act? I know, Mr. Bill Clinton. Seize the voting machines, Bill. Seize the voting machines. Say that that I'm the winner. You know what? Actually, tell your vice president, Mr. Bill Clinton, tell him to not certify the vote and choose the other electors that we chose and make me president. Send it back to the state legislators. We have mostly Democratic state legislators. We could just anoint me president. He didn't do that. Yeah, he dropped it. That's a key difference. It's a key distinction. Also, we don't have any evidence indicating necessarily that Al Gore didn't believe that those election irregularities were legitimate or that he had a legitimate reason to look into it. There's always a legitimate reason to look into something, but a legitimate reason to, bring in a court case around this and to pursue this. When it comes to the Donald Trump case, if you listen to these phone calls he's having with Republican officials, they are telling him the exact opposite of that. Like, no, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, putting all of that aside, even if you believe that Donald Trump and Al Gore's position on elections were as equally stupid. And there was no difference whatsoever. Even if you believe that, Al Gore dropped it, Donald Trump didn't. Al Gore met a line. He said, I'm not going to cross this line. Obviously, I care about the integrity of our institutions, choosing institutions over his person. Donald Trump didn't want to do that. Donald Trump wanted to choose his person and his personal political success over the institution of our democracy.
Let's see, who all else? Hillary? Yeah, questioned the fuck out of the election integrity.
She didn't do any of the stuff that I just covered. Again, same thing with Al Gore.
Actually,
she didn't even go through with the court cases. I remember at one point she talked about like possibly challenging it in like 2 states, and then they almost immediately dropped it.
Up some shit.
She's still sore about the election, obviously. She'll complain about it, but she didn't collaborate with Obama to try to get Joe Biden at the time. It would have been Joe Biden to just not certify the vote. That didn't happen.
But
there were a few Democratic legislators that wanted to try something like that, but Hillary Clinton didn't participate in that.
Won't go into that. Well, then there's, right here in the state of Georgia, Stacey Abrams. Yeah, her foul ass.
Foul ass.
Still questioning the outcome of that election.
Same point stands.
Well, there's other things too. Any government that does not want you to bear arms, that should really scare the fuck out of you, especially when they want to arm the IRS. I mean, people are seeing this shit going on around them, and they're not really fucking taking the hint that this means everybody.
Okay, everybody could be arrested for crimes. Terrifying prospect. I already watched this last stream. They're going to come for the influencers. Okay, let's see it. Civil War / revolution. Always, we got a Tim. Always a good thing to see this. Always good things to see Tim Pool fans in the flesh. Okay, let's listen.
Okay, so right now you basically have 2 choices. Either you are going to choose a side that is accused of.
Also, IRS Death Squad's fantastic heavy metal band name.
Conspiracy theory and not accepting the election, even though we know the left did it for 4 years. He was a Russian spy. There's all the videos out there saying illegitimate president, everything. Anything happened to him? No, because people on the right believe that they have the right to believe whatever they want.
Yeah, again, you can believe whatever you want, but if any of those left-wing people, like, I don't know, tried to go in there and be like, no, we gotta stop the process. We will not allow him. We need to take every avenue, no matter the legality, to stop. Like, we need to illegally access the voting machine. Dude, if we had confirmation that a Democratic politician illegally accessed voting machines in order to do what Donald Trump was doing, we would never hear the end of it. Never hear the end of it. Oh, election fraud. Oh, we'd never hear the end of it. For good reason.
And to investigate it as much as they want until some actual proof comes. So either you believe that the system, and you're on the side of Trump, that the system is breaking down, that they're going to start arresting and are indicting and arresting the presidential candidate. Never happened in U.S. history before, for all the people that think that civil war can't happen again or a revolution. This has never happened before. As well,
things that don't happen before happen all the time. The thing that gets me about this is a lot of people will say this has never happened before to indicate like how horrendously terrible what's going on is. But for me, it indicates something else. How horrendously stupid Donald Trump is. Because other politicians have committed crimes. Donald Trump was the first politician to commit so many crimes with so many people knowing about him committing these crimes, with so many people willing to actively turn on him about him committing these crimes, and he committing these crimes so frequently. Basically, what I'm saying is he got a lot messier than the other American presidential criminals who either violated the Constitution or other laws while in office or outside of office. Donald Trump is the most incompetent amongst them, and I do think that he's more criminal, much more criminal than the average president, engages that behavior much more than the average president.
Well, as lawyers, that
it's never a good sign when somebody chooses their own person over the institution. Not a good sign of things to come.
worked along with him, following everything that was according to the law, questioning the election, asking for audits, asking for election integrity. Those people are now being indicted and will be criminally charged. Well, if everything goes through.
That's not how it works. You can call for election integrity, you're not gonna be arrested. You can say the election was stolen, and you're not gonna be arrested, right? The lie, but you're not gonna be arrested. You can do all of these things. How this law goes is not going. How this case goes is not going to dictate whether it is or is not legal for you to question the results of the election. That is not what this case is determining.
And then what happens after that? Who else? You don't think they're going to come for any of the influencers, any of the popular people that said the same thing? They'll be next. They're going to be coming after them next. So either you believe that the...
it's real easy. Don't organize slates of fake electors, illegally access voting machine data, and commit multiple other crimes unrelated to just statements of, I believe the election was stolen. You can say that on your own. It's wrong, but that's not what's going to get you arrested. It's the other stuff he did around that that's going to get Trump arrested, if he gets arrested. If he, gets thrown into slammer. Odds of that happening, I think, are still tremendously low.
The system is actively working against this. You can call it a banana republic. You can call it seditious conspiracy theory that they're coming after Trump and coming after people. So either you believe that, or you believe the group of Trump and everybody else is actively working to take over the government, that they're forcibly taking over. And therefore, if you truly believe that, then I think that you would want to stop that by any means necessary, that you would get violent to make that happen. As well as, I would say, the people on the other side of the aisle, the ones that are on Trump's side, and believe that the government's actively working against how the system's supposed to work and is attempting to hold on to power and to subvert the actual election and cheat and steal and maintain control of the system, which those, I would think, if you truly believe that, then you also would want to get violent.
I don't know if this is the point he was trying to make, but he is hitting on something that is a key problem in the United States. And that is that we don't really have a shared, foundation of truth for a lot of our political discussions. It's impossible for you to find a middle ground with people and compromise with people or, get to a well-informed conclusion if you're working off of a shaky foundation. And with the amount of misinformation that is constantly being spread, not only online, but even sometimes on major news channels, where major news channels motivated by high viewership and revenues are bringing on people to say more and more hyperbolic nonsense. Sometimes it's just being blatantly made up. As I was talking about earlier, that statement that was said by RFK about that 7-to-1 death ratio for every one Russian soldier that dies, 7 Ukrainian soldiers die. That was the second time it was said on the Fox network. First time it was said by Tucker Carlson. No correction was ever made. So if we're having a bunch of disinformation spreading online, right? Some of it's motivated by state actors. Some of it's motivated just, I guess, off of personal entertainment. Some of it is by people who just want to help their side by any means necessary. That's already a problem. But on top of that problem, we also have a media literacy problem, which is pushing more people to go to the worst sources possible to get their information. Just like random people on Facebook, random Twitter threads of people who are not experts in the fields that they're talking about. I see it all the time, for example, when people talk about the war in Ukraine, where people decide that they're going to play armchair general. Instead of talking about what is the established consensus in the field, they're going to start pretending like this is a paradox game. And you move the unit here, and then they'll flank this, and then they'll flank that, when you have no clue what you're talking about. And so if you're working on a different foundation of reality, a different like foundation for what is true and isn't true, it's going to be very different. It's going to be very hard for people to come together. And Donald Trump's attempt to overthrow the results of the election, I think, is a key example of this. If you genuinely believe the election was stolen, then the storming of the Capitol on January 6th could even be a justifiable act. But that's the problem. The election wasn't stolen. We have a disagreement about what the foundational reality is. And so there is nowhere to compromise if we're working off of different information. The only way you could come to the conclusion that storming the Capitol was a smart idea is if you believe it was stolen. But if you believe that, it's going to be very hard for you to reconcile with the people who don't believe it was stolen and would like to see the peaceful transfer of power. Let's return to the thread that we were doing before we got off track. Here we go. Let's go to number 7. Message for the cabal. Let's hear this message for the cabal.
And now a message to all the members of Cabal for pushing the New World agenda.
I assume that includes me.
You dirty little demons, let's cut the shit.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. We're talking dirty. Okay. Let me hear what you got.
Shall we? We know what you did with the Titanic.
What did I do with the Titanic?
We know what you did to JFK.
Oh yeah, what did I do to JFK? I was naughty. I was a naughty deep state agent.
We know what you did to the Twin Towers.
Okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna make a sex joke about the Twin Towers. That's too recent.
We know why you locked us all down. We know what you like to do to little children.
Okay, now it's creepy.
We know why you fabricate wars. We know what you do with the alphabet agencies. We know what you do to elections. We know why you're trying to stop Trump. We know that you're panicking. And you know that we know that your end is very near.
Yeah, very near. Usually when, okay, let's say for a moment that like everything that she said about the cabal is true. Donald Trump is facing like court cases right now. If Donald Trump is facing this court case, right? He's at the behest of the cabal's legal system. Why don't they just send him to prison forever? Legitimately, I mean, if the cabal is so evil and so powerful that it can fabricate wars and diddle little children and do all this horrible stuff and get away with it, why can't they just shoot Trump? Why can't they just have somebody somebody hyped up on crack or some like murder suicide situation, or just arrest Trump and have him permanently arrested and just like make him lose the court case? Like, if what she was saying about the cabal is true, I would be terrified right now, because Donald Trump facing these charges, in my mind, would be like, well, he's going to lose. It's the cabal's legal system, so he's going to go to prison, and he's going to die in prison. That would be my conclusion. Of course, I disagree that what they conclude about the evil cabal in Trump's court case is true, but if what they're saying is accurate, I mean, they're screwed, right? Anyway, next one. They're coming after anyone who believes in the Constitution.
Listen, here we are again. They want us to worry about Trump. I'm telling you, we are the people.
You know what? That is true. We are the people.
No matter what color your skin, no matter what shade, no matter what nationality, it's not about Trump. It's about us. And Trump said if they come after him, they're coming after us. That means they're coming after us after they indict him, any person.
God, what a brilliant political line to just grift as hard as possible. Anytime anyone criticizes me, it actually means to criticizing Bill, the construction worker from Missouri. Anytime they say, hey, Donald, maybe you shouldn't appoint Jared Kushner to these powerful, influential positions, and then have the Saudis, have their funds go like jump $2 billion to his projects. Maybe that shows favoritism, certain favoritism that is, you guys are going after Hunter Biden for. Maybe it's like, no, that is going after working class people. If you criticize Jared Kushner or the Trumps for that type of behavior, that's you attacking working class grandmas all across the country. You go after Trump, you're going after us. This is the perfect grift to get dumb fucks to support you. Wow, they criticize Trump. That just proves Trump is right. They criticized Trump for saying murder X people. They said that. I mean, Trump said they would come after him. It's like when you read the Bible and the Bible says, the non-believers will doubt this. Whoa, really? The people who don't believe in your religion will not believe in your religion? And the fact that people don't believe in your religion is now proof of your religion? It's like, that's silly. I'm not, of course, most people who like genuinely argue in favor of God's existence are not going to fall back on that, right? It's one of the stupider arguments, but I have heard that made before. And it goes by the same logic. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Any person that believes...
Actually, I don't think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think I used that word very incorrectly. Misinformation spreader.
In the U.S. Constitution, they're coming against. Anybody that says we the people, they're coming against. I'm not talking to conservative. I'm talking about patriots. If you're a patriot, if you were born here in the United States of America, black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, I don't care. If you were born here, then you need to stand up and vote people in that will take back our country. The Bidens, this administration, and Obama tried to give it away. We need to fight. It's time to fight.
Trump wanted the country for working class people. Obama wanted it for the evil elites. Trump 2024, when have they stopped wearing their hats proud? Okay, let's hear it.
Hey, listen up, Trump supporters. You guys have got to get out right now. Get the hats on, get the flags up, get the yard signs out.
Gang signs.
Start showing up at these fraudulent court cases.
Hey, you want to see a Trump supporters gang sign? That was okay. I'm on Twitch. I couldn't go through with it, but you saw the direction. I would never do it too. That screenshot cannot exist.
Deals and show your support for Donald Trump. Disclaimer, FBI. I'm not saying.
Don't say do it, you psychos. Actually, time out everyone who said do it. Time out anyone who would encourage that type of behavior. Those are the people who actually just want to see my career crash and burn. They're all the plants. Those are all the Russian plants in my community, trying to wait for an embarrassing moment to clip it and ship it. Nope. All of them. Time them out. Time them all out.
Go down to the courthouse and overthrow it. You guys do that with your fake FBI agents, not us.
Fake FBI agents.
Go for violence. Everybody on the left.
How do you tell an FBI agent is fake? Do you inspect it like a diamond? What's the difference between a real and a fake FBI agent?
Wants to beat somebody up and hates somebody and loses their mind. That's not us. We stay calm, cool, and collective. We wait for our time.
Calm, cool, and collective.
And we do what's right.
Secret Trump Nazbol supporter. Collective.
Seriously, Trump supporters, it's time to get out. It's time to get out. Wear these hats proud wherever you go. Stand up to people. And listen.
Man, somebody's saying something along the lines. This guy's saying Trump supporters need to be more out and proud about, their identity, about being a Trump supporter. It plays to me like somebody say man, vegans need to be louder about being vegans. Like, what do you mean? Trump supporters are not exactly known for their, silent admiration of the man. Very loud admiration.
Let's not back down. Remember, there are more of us than them by millions. There are more of us than them. Let's don't back down to them. It's unfortunate that the people that are walking around with the 10 badges. Also,
if there was more of you guys than there were of the dumb Biden cuck liberals, then you would have won the election. Just saying.
And the 3 letters on the back of their jackets are all corrupt, but that's okay. We're going to stand strong. We're going to stand together, and we're going to make sure Trump gets back in office, and we're going to make sure this country gets straightened out.
Okay, next one. There won't be an election in 2024. Oh, man, a prediction. Let's hear it.
Hey, truthers.
Truthers! I love it.
Rough week. Told you it was going to be a rough week, didn't I? Okay, I just want to say something. And I just want you to understand that there's no way.
Who's that guy who plays Iron Man? Who plays Iron Man? Who plays Iron Man? Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, that's it. Now, 1 second. He has gone a little downhill. Gone a little downhill, a little bit. It's a little there.
In 2024, there's going to be an election at the time of the election. And keep this in a safe place. All right? It might get taken down, but if it doesn't, just know that 2024's election will not go as planned. There's so much going on, so much happening, and you see with your own eyes something's not right. Well, just trust me. What's coming next? I hope you have Xanax.
Dude, I hate posts like that. He said nothing. This guy, he said nothing of value. He gave me no information. He just said, like, things are happening. Stay tuned. Things will happen. Just you wait. Yeah, things will happen. And you know what's going to happen? Something is going to happen because that's, you know, history moves onward. It ever lumbers forward. And then he'll point to some event and he'll say, oh, see, I told you something would happen. Okay, I have a prediction for tomorrow. Something will happen. Something will happen in relation to the war in Ukraine. Let me just say, in the next 6 months, there's going to be some shocking developments in the war in Ukraine. Shocking developments. So stay tuned. I hope you guys all have a supply of hard liquor ready for these news updates. Like, it's so vague. I mean, you could feel it's like a choose your own adventure story. You could switch out a number of events for him to follow up on and be like, I've told you something was gonna happen. See, if he was really legit, he'd be like, on November 13th, Zelensky is going to kill Alec Baldwin. He's going to murder him. Here's my prediction. Here's the time, date, and location. That would be, oh man, this guy's got insider information. He knows what he's talking about. Number 12. I refuse to believe this boy is old enough to vote. No, man, hey, this is the like average age of one of my viewers, okay? This is an average Dylan Burns viewer. Let's see what he's like. 1 second. Let me look in chat. Who does this guy represent? This guy represents Tequila Sunset. Actually, no. This isn't a site chatter. This is a gutter chatter. So like Sewer Spork, Mr. Vote, Zeromag, yeah, all those guys, yeah.
Well, it happened again. Donald Trump got indicted. So we're starting to see a trend here. Every time Hunter Biden faces some criminal charge, or there's some problem within the Biden family, bam, Donald Trump gets indicted.
Man, the child's making the exact same argument. This literal child making the exact same argument as I've heard a million times over from full-grown Trump supporters. As stupid as it was when they do it. At least this guy has an excuse. He's a little bit younger. What I never got about this is, couldn't you say this about like any news story? Like anytime any news story happens, you could say it's a distraction from another developing news story. I also don't know why the Biden administration would even appoint a special counsel if the point was, you know, cover up. Oh, it's to appear impartial. Okay, well then show evidence of interference from the Biden administration. I believe there are more special counsels, I think, looking into Hunter Biden than there are special counselors looking into Donald Trump. Or at least I think there's an equal amount.
So weird. And I've talked about this before, but the only other countries that try and jail, imprison, or kill their opponents are third world countries or dictatorships or communist countries.
That's not true. I mean, there are democracies all over the world that will arrest politicians, even if they're part of an opposing bloc, if they commit crimes. If Hillary Clinton went out and just shot somebody in the head, right, we would expect her to get arrested by the Trump administration. That would be expected if we know that they committed the crime. The problem with Donald Trump is, in comparison to all the other presidents, he just really, really sucks at covering up his tracks.
And they're doing this because they know voters will...
And he commits crimes, I think, much more often. And a lot of them are just stupid crimes. Like the classified record, like the classified documents case, for example. It's just an example of Trump being Trump.
Definitely vote Republican and definitely vote Donald Trump. And Democrats even doubled down with this, indicting all members that were involved with Donald Trump at the time of the election.
That's not all members that were involved. What is that? Members of what? Members of the Republican Party? Members of his inner circle? Whatever. Okay, this is an actual child. I'm not debating a child. Let's move on. Next one. 13. We're an embarrassment. We're almost at the end. We've only got a few left. Wait. Did they add more? Oh, okay, no. We have 17 in total when we're at 14. Okay. No, we're at 13. We're an embarrassment. Let's hear it.
You know, I really don't care what you think of Donald Trump, but it's sad that there's a small group of Democrats in this country that think what we're doing in our country is somehow great. It's, look at that, we're going after, and it's an embarrassment. I work in an international world. I talk to our colleagues all around the world, and they are flabbergasted by how far the United States has fallen in the last 2 years. That we would indict a former president.
I don't know which foreigners he's talking to, right? But my conversations is with people about this is more like, man, it's crazy that you guys have to do this. It's not, oh my God, I can't believe you would do such a thing. It's more, God, it sucks that this is necessary. At least, but that's in my experience, right? And I'm in Ukraine. I don't know if that's the best sample size for international feeling.
That we're doing everything we can to destroy our country from within. We're the only country in the world that's teaching our youth to hate their own country. And you...
What does he mean by that? Like in our schools? Or does he mean like there are people who have a lot of guilt about America's actions? I think that's what he means. And he's just being hyperbolic for effect, I think.
You guys think setting this precedent is great. So now you can be indicted and charged for challenging the results of an election.
Oh my God, none of these, okay. It's all the same line. It's all like, he just said words.
Deny.
Dude, every crime, like every mafia boss in the world gets to get off because all they did was tell the other people to sell drugs, okay? All they did was say words.
The results of an election. But we didn't go after Al Gore. We didn't go after Stacey Abrams. We didn't go after Hillary Clinton. Hell, we didn't go after the entire Democrat Party.
We already went over this earlier. I don't want to repeat myself.
For the 2016 elections. Let's start by stating, if you watch CNN, MSNBC, or any of the liberal news media stations after the 2016 elections, they all said the same thing. Dominion software systems are corrupt. Dominion software systems can be manipulated. Dominion software systems should never be used in elections moving forward. Huh. It's amazing how you guys forgot that they said that. But if you called it into question in this one, you're going to get sued, lose your job, or be indicted on criminal charges. But Donald Trump challenging the results of an election, that you can't have. Everybody else, all you Democrats, do what you want. You can even go so far as to try to unseat a duly elected president, and somehow it's justifiable.
What does he mean by unseat? Does he mean the impeachment? Donald Trump isn't even the first president to be impeached. And that's not even like extraordinarily out of the world. Like, oh my God, this has never happened before.
Our country is an embarrassment. And if you're not looking around and seeing the African countries leaving the side of the United States, the Middle East countries leaving.
What does that even mean? Which African countries is he referring to?
Leaving the side of the United States.
Which Middle East countries? Like, does he mean for like Saudi Arabia is engaging in a lot more strategic hedging? They've made it a lot more clear that they're going to work with be partners of China, Russia, and the rest of the world. Is that something that we like? Should we be like, no, we need to pump Saudi Arabia full of so much military aid that they're only loyal to us? That's not something that I'm particularly interested in. That I'm not interested in propping up like Saudi military operations in order to permanently garner their favor over the Chinese and the Russians. I mean, it would depend on the nation.
Many South American countries doing the same thing. The world is turning its back on the United States, and you somehow think we're in a really good fucking position. Don't you, typical Democrat, Harry?
Democrat, more like. Let's look at the next one. Okay, we've only got a few left. Only a few left.
You know, Donald Trump is indicted again. I mean, the indictments are not going to stop. What was that? What was that one theorist? I don't even want to say it. The theory of trust the process. In the background, they are arresting them. They're taking them to Gitmo.
What? Look at this, dude. This guy is a fiend, man. This guy's a fiend. But who went to Gitmo?
Yes, trust the process. Don't do anything. Sit back, relax.
What does he think Trump's going through right now? Does he think like FBI agents are like pulling out his fingernails and like cutting out his eyelids? What does he think's happening? They're doing like Chinese water torture. Admit to it, Trump. No, I won't betray the American people. I love America too much. You can torture me in every way you want. And they're literally crucifying him. FBI agents have dressed up like Roman guards. What is happening to Trump? Gitmo, get out of here.
Kick your feet up, put your hands behind your head, and get some popcorn. Watch the show. Cue. Oh my. Give some people a little truth, and then you can just put a whole bunch of stuff on top of it. Whatever you want, you can just put it on top. Little truth, a whole bunch of falsehood on top. Trust the process. You don't see it with your own eyes that they're really, really after Trump? I mean, Joe Biden already said, well, we're just going to make sure that he can't run. So you just think that it's just going to be with the juries and, and all that stuff.
What? I can't decipher what he's trying to say.
Oh, no.
It's going to be with all the juries. Okay, whatever.
If it's not looking promising, the Democrats and Joe Biden will turn it up even more.
What does that mean? I'm sorry, what does that mean? What is Joe Biden going to do? I just want to hear it. What is he going to do? What options are on the table for Joe Biden?
Superseding indictments, the grand jury.
So we'll just do more indictments? Is that the strategy?
Oh, let's talk about this grand jury. I mean, it's easy to have a grand jury where everybody in the grand jury is paid for. And it's easy to get an indictment. Hey, we got 100,000 for you, 100,000 for you, 100,000 for you. We're going to use your name. We're going to say that.
So we paid him off? Is that the accusation? I mean, that would be, a gigantic story for any news organization that could drop that all the people who voted to indict Trump were just paid off. Would love to, if you could, get that information accredited or verified, that'd probably be helpful.
Donald Trump did this colluded. And then you got your indictment. Now you got the media talking about it. It's all paid for, just like the science. Trust the process. In the background, they are military involved, scooping them up. People from Hollywood and are taking them to Gitmo. Hillary Clinton is in Gitmo. They're actors and actresses.
Is it? I can't tell if he's mocking people or if that's what he believes. He's like at that weird level of crazy where you don't know, like, where it starts and where it ends.
People, you better wake up and realize what's really going on.
Okay, so he's mocking that, I think.
Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, United Nations, all of them, everything is going according to plan.
Dude, all these conspiracy theorists would be fantastic. There's a reason why we see so many conspiracy theorist YouTubers, man. They understand product placement. Every single time I see one of these conspiracy videos, I see like every other conspiracy theory get name dropped. Whether it be like the assassination of JFK, the moon landing, flat Earth, this theory, they seem to always throw it out there. They'd be perfect for ad reads or remember to click the bell and subscribe. All of them would be fantastic at this.
Billy Gates did say we will definitely have another one. We're having all type of diseases that are coming from old. Where did they come from? And who has the ability to unleash those viruses on the public? We already know it's a natural occurrence. You know what? It was from a seafood market with a horror.
We're on COVID now? Why are we on COVID? Why are we talking about COVID? See what I'm talking about? They jump from every theory. They always do the product placement. They always do the product placement, man.
Horse and a chicken. Oh, you know, I mean, I'm sorry. That was the COVID where they said it was a pangolin and a bat. Excuse me. A pangolin and a bat that was in the seafood market. Neither one of them is seafood, but people still fell for it. Then they changed it to a wet market, and neither one of them like it moist. Jeez, I mean, people talk about people watching CNN and MSNBC and all these other CIA-run media groups.
I didn't know my grandfather was involved in such news organization. Dude, if the CIA is running all these news organizations, why am I not a contributor yet? Why haven't they given me the hand up? I'm not getting any help from Grandpa anymore. I need to make some calls.
But then yet, Republicans fall for the same stupid stuff too. So you got Republicans and Democrats falling for this foolishness. But when are we going to wake up? No. We're going to take the easy route. We're going to trust the process. And we're going to allow the white shirts to take care of it. You believe that because just like those people years ago, they finally realized what was going on when it was too late. And they never even had the opportunity to respond. Keep sitting on your hands. Trust the process. Remember, right now the Democrats are in control and they do not relinquish control.
I wish. I wish. Man, LBJ hours.